Hey everyone. First, I think a lot of you will be wondering why now? Why is it taken well over 24 hours to do a video on this thing? And I'll be really frank with you all. I had a video, it was out for about 20 minutes. More information started coming out in terms of Thomas Partey's lawyer's quotes, Arsenal doing a quote, or a statement, should I say, very short one. And I don't think it was right that it was covered without as much information as possible, because with these things, they are incredibly serious allegations and charges. And I think it's really important that all the facts are delivered. What's also important is that this isn't an opinion piece, because I have no idea what the evidence is or what is going on. What I do know is that these things are very serious. They have to be taken seriously. And I have my fears about whether it's always taken as seriously as it should be, if not in football, then in the world, in general. So you'll all know that Thomas Partey has been charged with 5 counts of rape and 1 of sexual assault. His lawyer has come out to say that he categorically denies it and wants to clear his name, and he'll be fighting these. Arsenal have come out with a statement saying that basically his contract ended June 30th, and that because it's an ongoing case, they cannot comment further. There are questions, and rightly so. The first thing is that there are people involved that are deeply affected by this, and I hope for justice and the correct outcome. Whatever the perfect, correct outcome, and it's a horrible situation, it's a really dark situation, but whatever the best possible outcome can be, that's what I hope happens when everything is, when all the evidence is put out there, when the case is heard, and I just want justice, and I want this all sorted. And when there's a verdict, I'll be able to pass on more opinion and more thought. What I think because the first thing is to think about the human perspective of all this, but I think what's also important is that, never more important than the human perspective, but I think what is also something to consider is that Arsenal fans have been supporting a team and a player with which there has been an ongoing investigation for 3 years now. And when the time is right, and I appreciate, it's not nice, but I appreciate the ongoing legalities of the situation. When the time is right, I think it's only right that there's some, if not accountability, then explanation and really transparent communication on what's been going on the last 3 years, because I think we deserve to know. But first and foremost, my thoughts go out to everyone involved in this, and I hope that there's a quick but correct resolution to all this. The reason I've decided to ultimately make this video is because there's been news pouring out throughout, the last, even the last sort of 5-6 hours about transfers and stuff. And I want to be able to still come to you guys and give you reaction and thought to all this, but it never felt right to bring, to post videos reacting to what might be going on, whether it be, the Madueke stuff and agreed terms and all this other stuff that's been doing the rounds. It didn't feel right, having not addressed that this stuff had happened with Thomas Partey in the last 24 hours. So forgive me if you wanted to hear more, really do. I wanted to, I'd love to be able to just speak as candidly as possible, but the reality is these things are incredibly complicated, and I just want the right resolution from it all. It didn't feel right to comment on everything else going on around Arsenal without having touched on this in some way, shape or form. Any factual updates we can bring, we'll cover it here on the Goonerverse too, and I promise to do that in a more timely fashion. It's just been, I think, a case of, a case of maybe me misjudging the timing, and also not being completely happy with how many times I've recorded this, trying to get my words right. But it's, that's just, think as far as I can go. And, my thoughts with everyone involved in this situation. And, we'll leave it there. There'll be content coming out on the Goonerverse channels, but I didn't want to do it without this being addressed in some way.